ain't sleeping till Hollywood, Hollywood. We ain't sleeping.
Welcome to the broadcast of the podcast where we will make peeps because we don't sleep. You know what I mean? My name is Caleb McDonald.
And I am Gaelyn Smith.
You are listening to the No Sleep Till Hollywood podcast, the podcast where we're not sleeping until we make it in Hollywood. And while we're up, we are going to be discussing the state of the industry and our place in it.
And if you couldn't tell by the rhyming from our good co-host Caleb McDonald, and the fact that we're a duo, we were setting you up to talk about today's topic, the new show created by Miss Issa Rae, showrunner. We don't know how to make that a verb. But the showrunner is Sarita Singleton. If you haven't guessed it already, it is Rapsh, the show of the summer, allegedly. But we're gonna get into a couple of things. I'm saying allegedly because, like, you know how like every episode they were like, some for the hood, some for the club. They kept calling it something for the summer, and I was like, you know, like it is something for the summer. It was the Issa Rae show of the summer.
It was something,
but I don't know. It was something. It did what it was fun. It was enjoyable. If you have not watched Rapsh, go watch that before you listen to the episode, because y'all know once we start talking about the thing, it's gonna be a whole lot of spoilers. So go ahead and watch that. Just
spoiler alert. This is your spoiler alert.
All right, now that we've done that. So quick synopsis of the show. Two estranged friends living in Miami who, after a drunken freestyle goes viral, decide to reunite as friends and form a rap duo. And so Caleb, you know, tell us some of your thoughts. What did you think about Rapsh? Was it the show of the summer for you? Give us your thoughts, your opinions.
Well, you know, I loved elements of the show. I absolutely loved elements of the show. The characters were very defined. The world was nice. You know, we got to visit different aspects of the rap world. And you know, it wasn't a favorite yet, but it was enjoyable. Like it was a nice snack sized delight every week that came to me. Because the pace was what I needed, and there were moments from every episode that hit, but like watching it, I could tell like it was just, the show was fast itself, and so the conflicts that were coming up,
was the show fast?
It was fast and slow. Like nothing was happening.
I feel like the show, I feel like it was, to me, it was a very slow show, very slow burn. So Doria and I went to Issa Rae's Kennedy Center takeover back in March. And so we saw the first episode back then. Like we couldn't tell nobody we saw it. They like put our phones in those little lock boxes, like all of it. And so we saw it as the rough cut. And I was like, okay, maybe it's because it's a rough cut. You know, maybe that's why I'm not feeling it. Like, you know, maybe. So when it came out, I watched the first episode again and I was still like, And then episode 2, I was like, I feel like episode 3 for me was the first episode where I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel something. Coincidentally, that was also the episode that mostly focused on the B stories, which for me, I think the B stories were way stronger than the A story. And that's why I feel like for me, it was a very slow show. Like, I feel like not a lot happened until the back half of the season. Like, I feel like until they went to New York, it was kind of just like, all right, we get it. They recording this song. All right, we get it. They recording. Like, it just kind of felt like very day in the life in a way that I don't think the episodes for me had a lot of, like, those early episodes didn't have a lot of conflict. They didn't have a lot of like action. It was more like, I feel like I'm just like watching a documentary, but it didn't lean into being a documentary. And so it was like a weird, like, I felt like the pacing was really slow on the front half. So when you get to the back half, it did feel faster, but I think it's because there was a lot of exposition and then all of a sudden there was action. Whereas I feel like a lot of that action, had it been spread out over the 8 episodes, it probably would have been a more balanced show.
And that's what I meant by fast. The fact that like, right from the exposition, we got into action, and like the characters were feeling bigger emotions than I, as an audience member, could have cared to give, because it felt unearned in a lot of places. But my
Yeah.
big my biggest thing with the show is it felt inconsistent just plot wise because for instance with Shawna, right? Shawna wants to be a
Hmm.
rapper. She totally drops her self tapes that she starts doing. And then she has her issues with her long distance boyfriend Cliff that was in and out like every other episode. And
Cliff is bitch
so
made. I just had to say it. I really don't like Cliff.
oh
Like,
Cliff, like
he's
if
a bitch
Shauna
ass
was
nigga.
hard to like, Cliff was we see why they were together.
Right, because they both were hard to like.
Yeah.
No, I think yeah, I think like the inconsistency I think was something that was big for me is that, and I love a dramedy. Dramedies are like my favorite genre of anything, but it didn't feel like it was comfortably sitting in that space. Like I feel like sometimes it was like a drama that was short and super light on the drama, and then sometimes it was a comedy that was like half comedy and didn't always go for the full jokes. So I think that was kind
Right.
of hard for me. I think in terms of like going back to Shauna and what I said, like I enjoyed the B stories more than I enjoyed the A story. I was interested in the whole Shauna scamming thing. I was interested in what Lamont's life as a producer who's not always getting paid for his work was like. I was more interested in Maurice and I can't think of Jean Ali's character, but like their scamming life. Like those were all things that were way more interesting to me than Shauna and Mia. And I think the question that I was left with at the end of the season, particularly because Issa Rae is so good at creating like narratives around female friendships, I never could answer the question why Shauna and Mia were friends before and why they are friends now.
Hmm.
I understood that they had good chemistry rapping. I understood why they might be a rap duo, but like their friendship to me never felt fully
Authentic.
developed. Yeah, it didn't feel
Right.
authentic. Like I was like, y'all keep telling me they're friends, but I don't see it. Like I don't see them have moments where I'm like, oh, that's friendship. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
because that was supposed to be such a strong part of the story is how do you work with your friend? How do we as women decide what we want to do with our voices and our bodies? Like I never felt that fully coalesce in a way where I was like, this narrative of this relationship that you want me to invest into, I'm investing into. Like I never had that moment where I invested in their relationship. I think for me, of the two, I was more invested in Mia, like Mia's
Hmm.
storyline. But I think that's just because I think for me, I wish the show had really fully leaned into being the city girl story. And like I know that there's a lot of conversation about because Carisha and Jatavia both are executive producers on the show. And I wish that the show had just been their story as opposed to being like loosely based on them because it's in Miami and they're friends, but also pulling from all these other female rappers and did it. Like, I wish it had fully just been like their story because I think they have such a strong bond and friendship and they work together and there's been enough written about their story and they're just like they have an interesting story. I mean, like the idea of like
Hmm.
I was like young Miami started driving at 14 because her daddy gave her a car and like I wanted to know like that their story is so interesting that like I would watch a show about the city girls pre I guess what was that pre in my feelings. Like I would watch a
Right.
show that's like them from like 14 to 20 something right before they popped. Like that's a show I would fully invest in and watch. And because this show like was loosely based, I think sometimes it didn't fully hit the marks for me in terms of like relationship building between characters.
Something else that the show just didn't do for me was the whole elevation of their career that
Yeah.
seemed unearned and rushed because there's shows like Dave where you have this pre-established rapper like it's clear that he has a foot in the game and like then we watch his rise and that's like easier um,
Yeah.
to like focus on. Then there's like Atlanta where yeah, once again, you have like a semi setup, but you also like watch the manager do their thing. So
Yeah.
it's just assumed every episode that they're progressing up the charts. With this one, the show tried to deliver us word by word the progression of their career, but it was like really like it's that simple. And don't get me wrong, it could be that simple. I don't know. I'm not
I
into
mean,
rap
because
stuff.
granted, think about it. Like, you got people like, and somebody, I saw a tweet, because Rolling Loud New York is going on right now, and like Ice Spice
Mhm.
performed. And someone was like, this is what happens when you don't have no artist development, because she was up there and she sounded tired. She sounded out of breath. She just kept shaking her ass every other lyric, but there was no like performance value to what she was doing. And it's like,
Right.
but her song went viral. Like, I feel like I can't get away from Munch. And therefore, she starts to, get the success and the accolades, starts getting booked and making her money, which make your money, sis. But when you don't have artist development, you kind of can see what happens. So I think they were trying to play with like how fast you can become famous and change your life, while also trying to do this kind of like old school work your way up story. And like the two things felt in conflict. Like if they were going to just be all of a sudden famous, then all right, put them at Rolling Loud Miami and show us them implode on stage that way, versus like, we spent how many episodes before we get a performance from them? And how many episodes? Like, we spent the first 2-3 episodes of them recording Seduce and Scheme. Then it wasn't for another few episodes before we get Nan Batters. Like, y'all did a whole season of 8 episodes and we only got 2 songs. But then you're telling me that they're having like other success in the way, like now they're on the Spotify thing. Like, it's just, it was kind of, I don't think everything matched up, and I'm not sure that it was clear what kind of rise to rap royalty story they were telling.
No, yeah, I think you put it in words that I didn't think of, but I would have used if I was given time.
Like, I don't know, like, I mean, Caleb, I don't know if you like, I love me some Megan Thee Stallion. I love like Saweetie and like Lotto, and I really love my female rappers, but like Meg Thee Stallion has a show called Hottie World. And if you watch Hottie World episode, and granted, it's not scripted, it's a docu-vlog, and like sometimes there are like 8 months in between episodes, right? So it's not a consistent view of her rise to fame. But Meg Thee Stallion, like Hottie World, I think is a great example of showing that. They would show Meg Thee Stallion being at class, then going to the studio. Then the next episode, it might just be her like, I performed at 3 strip clubs in one night, and I'm going to take y'all through that night and what that looked like. Like, I wish that Rapsh had done a little bit more of that, of like, I'll believe their song is viral if I also see it popping off in the hood where they're from. Because that's what even the City Girls said. They were like, the first performance that the City Girls did was a song that they put on SoundCloud. They got booked to do a strip club, and everybody in the hood came out and they knew the song word for word. And that's how they started to build their like name in the city. And I wish we had seen more of that, of like, they performing at strip clubs and they're performing at people's random family reunions and like really like pushing the song and pushing their career, versus it being, all right, we haven't heard about y'all recording no music in like 3 episodes. And now, there's Nan Batter. Like, I wish it had been a little more,
right,
documented.
A little more calculated, documented.
Yeah, just a little bit. I will say though, I mean, because like, I think the show was fun, right? Like, it's enjoyable. It didn't make me like cry heavy tears. I didn't have to like get in the mood to watch it. Like, it's fun. I love that there is now a show about female rappers, especially because, like you said, you have Atlanta, you have Dave. You can even go back to Empire. Like, those are all shows that centered men in hip hop. And so I love that we have a show that centers women in hip hop. I just think that there's, some room for growth, and I'm interested to see where it goes for season 2. But It just, for me, like, was it the show of the summer? Not for me. Not for me personally.
No. Was there a character that kept your eye, or something that kept you watching, something you enjoyed, a favorite?
I love Lamont. Lamont, played by RJ Seiler. He's great. I'm like 99.9% sure if this is right, but RJ Seiler is also in this really great dark comedy satire called Emergency that was out at Sundance this year. And he's fabulous. Like, I love him as an actor. I think he was just funny. Like, Lamont was funny. I love that nobody said his name correctly. Like, everybody had their own way of saying his name. Like, you had Lamont, you had Lamont, you had Lamont. Like, nobody said his name correctly throughout the show. Or like, at least there were like 85 pronunciations. So I loved that. I thought that was very just like funny. But he's a good dude. He's Mia's baby daddy. They are on again, off again, trying to raise their daughter, who I love their daughter. Like, their daughter was like, whoever that little girl is, she's great. I hope she's having a wonderful time, living her best life with her locks and her little pretty self. Like, she was cute, adorable, loved it. But I love that they were this relationship where they are trying to figure out what it means to co-parent, as well as they are trying to figure out what it means to be adults. And I love that it had like that tension. And there were moments when they were trying to get back together and it was cute. And there were moments when they were at odds and it was great. But, Lamont really was a good dude trying to do the right things.
He was.
He just, had some struggles. The little girl is Frankie Love. So the girl who played the daughter, her name is Frankie Love. Shout out to her.
Shout out Frankie Love. And they did have a skeptical about Lamont at first, because at first it was like is he for real just grimy? Is he stingy with the monies?
Yeah, because I was like, maybe he's a bad dad. Like, maybe he is a bad dad. But then it's like, nah, he try. He just don't have everything together.
Right.
I think that also goes back to one of my critiques of the show is that, like, Mia's baby daddy was a producer engineer. And so then all of a sudden when their songs needed a producer engineer, it was like, hello, sir. Conveniently placed.
Convenient.
Like, I wish that was the case, that there was like a little bit more of like a distance between her and Lamont. So it had to be like a thing to overcome to get his help versus like, nah, you my baby mom, we cool, I got you. It's like, okay, that took out some. Yeah.
This is going to be so controversial, but my favorite character was Shawna.
Shawna!
Yeah, no.
Shawna, Miss, let me do a verse in the middle of a song about shaking ass from the point of view of a student loan. Listen. When Mia turned to her and was like, bitch, are you talking about student loans? I almost died.
No, because look, when a show's reality is being questioned by me, there's only so much I could hold on to. And if there's one thing I could hold on to in every single episode of this show, it's my frustration with Shawna. And so because of my constant frustration with Shawna, I'm actually in the world really trying to evaluate like the psyche behind this character who's like for real just on their own mission. On their own mission.
Caleb, that's the best. That is literally the best description of Shawna's character in her arc. Shawna is on her own mission. I don't know what show Shawna in, but she on her own mission.
Because I believe everything that character does. Like, no, they're dead set in their ways. And the actor Ada Osman, they are one of my favorite Twitter accounts to follow. I've been following them since I followed them after I found out they were a writer on Big Mouth, I believe. And so as I was following them, their Twitter's out of pocket. And once they cast this show, they went on private, despite how many people were following them. And even the private tweets were like, oh, my producers want me to restrict my tweets and stuff. It was,
Ada Osman's journey to the show is also crazy because apparently she submitted for the writer's room at the same time she submitted for the audition. And then she got the job in the writer's room and they still continued to audition other Shawnas. But she was clearly the Shawna favorite. They were just like, we can't have her write and dude, that's crazy. And then ultimately she got the show. Cause that is, I know somebody who auditioned for the show. I remember like helping them read or like, I remember because they had to freestyle. They had to like create a verse to submit with the thing. And then my friend was like, can you listen to my verse and tell me if it's good? And I was like, I think it's good, but like, I didn't know, we didn't know about the show. Like at the time, like, I don't think the City Girls had been announced as producers yet. Like I didn't know, so I couldn't like, help her really to figure it out. I was like, girl, I can't help you. I just know that it rhymes and it don't sound bad. That's all I got for you. But I think that it's just like, Caleb, we didn't know. But remember, also when you auditioning, you can't tell everybody and your mama that you're auditioning for the new HBO show.
True. That's how you go from 5 applicants to 500.
Listen, because I would have been right there, girl. Y'all just see me seduce and scheme. It would have been.
Which the songs were bops.
The songs were bops. I must say, they did it. You know what was crazy? That moment when they were at the Spotify party and they were talking to some producer and Shawna was like, oh yeah, like I'm the pen behind the group. And then you think back on the episode and you realize Mia has written most of the music we've heard.
Yeah.
Because Seduce and Scheme, Mia came up with that hook and she wrote her verse and then Mia like basically fixed Shawna's verse. And then Mia wrote Nan Batter.
Right. No,
so for Shawna to think she was the pen?
Shawna's just writing modern day Negro spirituals. That's all Shawna's doing. Monologues on monologues. But she said, I'm gonna get my credit.
That Spotify, like, there were so many cringe moments for Shawna, but when she decided instead of rapping Nan Batter, she was going to give us a slavery freestyle.
Which, can I just say, again, this will sound controversial, but
if you say that that was good, I'm going to hit you.
That was my favorite episode.
Oh, I thought you said her verse was good. Okay.
Oh, no. Please. No, because watching her beg on that stage, talking about, y'all don't see me for who I am. Y'all don't want real talent. Like, oh, girl, come on.
Yo, anytime you have to start a sentence with, y'all don't want real talent. Y'all don't feel me. Y'all don't hear me. Baby, you have lost whatever battle you are in. I don't know what the battle is, but you've lost.
Because you are admitting that you are not being heard. And that alone kind of just does it.
Also, it made me cry because that was also the episode when like Mia and Shawna fully realized that like their manager was out here pimping girls on the side.
Right.
Like, I just wanted to understand why. Like, Chastity was like the whole time Chastity gave pimp. So I don't know why they were confused.
Like, what? What's going on?
And then they wasn't, and then because the girls was mad because they wasn't getting paid to be out here getting pimped. And she was like, "We trying to build a clientele." And I was like, whoa. Too much is happening for me.
There are no ethical pimps.
There are no ethical pimps. That's crazy. But, dang.
But
they need to make like a union. There needs to be like a prostitutes union.
Las Vegas, Nevada.
That's true. That is true.
I feel like they got down pat. It's legal over there.
Yeah, so it's legal over there. I think they are unionized in Las Vegas. That's kind of crazy. Smart though. I saw an article a couple weeks ago about there's a strip club in maybe like Los Angeles or something, where they were like the first unionized strip club. And like sex workers need unions. Yeah. They indeed do need unions, because after having watched between P-Valley, the storyline of this show, I've seen enough. There needs to be unions. There need to be protections. I can't.
Protect
too many things.
Workers,
protect all sex workers. Mm-hmm. I love how you loved episode 7. Oh, the LA thing is true. Okay. Yes. I knew about the union aspect. I know I was right about something. My favorite episode was episode... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say real quick, that was fact checked by our very own producer, D-Lace. Shout out D-Lace. This is the D-Lace shout out this episode.
Okay, so my favorite episode was definitely episode 3. I know I said the front half of the season was slow, but for me, episode 3 is like the first episode where I bought into the show. Like I said, the B story is really shown for me. That's how we learned about Maurice and like what his scamming really did look like. We got to see a lot of, Lamont. Like, that's the first time we realized he's not getting paid. Like, sometimes even when he's sending Mia money, it's money he don't really have. And, like, just seeing how he's able to provide for his family, even though it's difficult. So, again, the B stories were just stronger for me. So, episode 3 was really good. And then 4 was just enjoyable. I think that was like the episode where they kept waiting in line to go to the clubs. And then they finally got into the clubs and to be whack. And then they did Molly or something. And then Shawna was crying in the woods and just the whole shenanigan. Like, I thought like 3 and 4 were just like a nice hour of television that I thought were just fun, enjoyable, did what they needed to do. You know,
it wasn't enjoyable. I got to talk about it. The Cliff storyline. Oh my God. Oh my God. First of all, chemistry was there? Because from what I saw, there was an attractive partner and then Cliff. And Cliff was very excited for what Shawna had to offer him. Like that's all it looked like.
Someone made a point in like an article. They were just basically like everything was fine in their relationship until Shawna started to have her own like identity and then started becoming successful. And then Cliff was like, "Oh no. I know."
Yeah, shut this
Cliff
down
was giving very much Republican. Like he was giving Black Republican. Like he looked like he was trying to like run for president in like 30 years. And
100% on politician mode, except for when this dude went live,
bro.
To break up with, bro.
He was a scummy piece of scum.
Scummy piece of scum. Had to talk about
scummy piece of scum.
That whole story, like, just absolutely not. And then And then for him to say, "Oh, by the way, you were right about Fatima,"
About Fatima?
and we get nothing after that.
First of all, Fatima was ugly and rude. Not ugly as a person, like she's a very beautiful girl, but she was ugly and rude for coming to that brunch and smiling at Shawna like that, knowing she was sleeping with Shawna Man. As the very wise young prophetess Glorilla has said, I can't be up in her face. I took her nigga down before. And I think that Fatima should have listened to that because that was very disrespectful of her. Oh, hey, Shawna, I've heard so much about you. I hope they go back to New York. They need to go back to New York and go find her. That's crazy. Like, imagine Clip out here smashing Fatima and then being like, man, Shawna, she really be blowing me. Like, that's crazy.
No, you know what makes me sick every time? Those tweets that are from like the girl's point of view and she has a side boo and the tweets be like, yeah, and we laughed at your SoundCloud too. I could only imagine that's Cliff and Fatima.
Yo, Cliff and Fatima was really in there laughing at seducing scheme.
No,
that's disrespectful.
Oh yeah, and then you had him talking about, oh, this isn't you. You're really going along with these shenanigans. Like
this is what you do. You don't do this. This is because he basically called it like slut rap. Like it's like he basically said that at certain points. Like, and I'm just like, ladies, love yourself because this shit can get ugly. That's why as fucking niggas get money. Megan Thee Stallion.
Megan Thee Stallion.
V.E. Stallion.
You know she had an appearance in a Marvel show?
I have thoughts.
No, but all I'm going to say is this. In the show, everyone absolutely loved Megan Thee Stallion, which means that she is a pop artist in She-Hulk. I mean, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The show that she was in was She-Hulk.
Yes. Yeah, I just wish, like, I have so many thoughts. Like, why does she have to be, like, every second saying, ah? Like, Megan don't have nothing else important to offer us other than ah and twerking. Like, and granted, she has built a brand off of those things, yes. But, like, I just remember in the 90s and the early 2000s when you could, like, invite a celebrity on your show. And if they were playing themselves, we didn't have to watch them do the thing they were famous for. Or they could also just play a whole other character. Usher had a whole storyline on Moesha. And he was not Usher.
We got depth.
You know what I'm saying? He was acting. And I just miss it. I just want it back. Because, like, I just felt like I don't watch the Marvels and I didn't watch She-Hulk. But it just very much seems like we just want to make the stallion on the show. But, like, no thought.
No, that's exactly what it was. Because, okay, real quick, I'll tell you this, and then we get back to the program.
Back to the show.
Scheduled program. But no, in the show, what happened was there's a shapeshifter. And so there's this white entitled guy who thought he was dating Megan Thee Stallion because this shapeshifter shapeshifted into Megan. And yeah, no, the way they proved that the guy was actually dumb enough to believe that was top tier. Top tier. But
I want better for Meg Thee Stallion, as in Tina Snow on P-Valley. Tina Snow on P-Valley.
Or when she gets her horror movie.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. As long as you don't have her going, ah! I don't want to hear that when she's running from the ghost. Okay?
I mean, that's what you would do differently with Megan's career. What would you do differently with Rapsh, with Issa Rae's new project?
I love how you took my note to heart because I would have been my whole face would have been like.
Mm-hmm. For those who don't know, I don't curse. So I will be referring to the show as Issa Rae's new project.
Issa Rae's new project. Some for the city. Also, the fact that the title is also important because it also links back to a City Girls song, Rap Shit, from their first mixtape, Period. And if you don't know, now you know.
Yeah. I now know.
Period is like my favorite. Like, pause. We'll get back to my answer. But the City Girls, Period, best project by the City Girls, hands down. I love that whole thing. Problematic, a little crazy.
A little.
They really have a whole song where the chorus is, I was already gooking on my period PMSing. This nigga fucking on me and I'm stressing. Haters trying to knock me for the shit that I'm blessed with, period. You got a problem, ho, address it. It's my shit. But great project. You can't. Like, I was PMSing. I'm stressing. This nigga want to fight me. Like, that's too much. Too much going on. Too much stress. Honestly, I'm stressed hearing it. But I just, like I said, I think I said it a number of times, is I wish this was just a scripted show based on the come up of the City Girls. I think that's like the big thing I would do differently if I'm taking the content as it is and not changing it, but so much. Like, I just wish that the action was a little bit more evenly thought out throughout an 8-episode journey. What does each episode give me that I need to see? Because honestly, you could skip episodes in this show and still know the story. And I think that's the 100%. Problem. I think every episode should always have something that you need in order to watch the show. And I just wish that it was a little bit more evenly paced. I wish like structure, like I wish that like I'm reading Save the Cat Rights for TV now. And like, there are things in Save the Cat that I don't find helpful. And there are things in Save the Cat that I do find helpful. And I think in terms of like the way that they break down, like a season of TV is a movie, right? And so if you look at like the reels of a movie and like movie structure, like every 15 minutes, something happens in a movie that builds the picture. And if you take that same logic for like a season of TV, like every episode needs to build the picture. And I just wish that they had like done that a little bit more. I wish they had been a little bit more decisive about what story they were trying to tell and like focusing on that. Like, is this a story of two girls who just are messing around and suddenly become viral and then have to decide what they want to do about it? Is it a show about a girl who wants to be a rapper and is afraid to go out by themselves and then latches onto a friend and brings them along? Like, what is this? Like, I wish, again, I think the relationship was not solid enough to be the story engine. And I think that like we got too much trapped in the world. Like, it became a show that was about like Miami more than it was a show about two women forming a rap career.
Yeah, because as you said, like it wasn't building the picture. It wasn't building the picture. It just kept expanding the picture. And like the problem with that is when you have such a big picture, you don't know what to focus on. Like, it's better when you do build the picture you want to focus on, then expand from there. But if I had to do something different, I would definitely make a more coherent storyline. Because we heard about Cliff episode 1. I think he came back episode 3, maybe.
Something like that.
And then episode 6 was the last we heard, maybe. Other than a little.
Yeah, because they broke up and
So like that's just one storyline. Then there's Francois Boone, which
we didn't even talk about Francois, like, because that whole thing with him and Raina Rain, aka Iggy Azalea.
Right, aka Iggy. Yo, the secondhand embarrassment.
It just.
But even that storyline was better crafted because like you saw how it was going to become a part of the story that's being told, where Cliff was like the old story that we're leaving.
Right.
It didn't add anything to the current state.
Because really, honestly, Cliff could have been written out in episode 2 for what it was.
He really could have.
Like, we didn't have, other than going to New York, like allowed them to go to Spotify and I guess like made Shawna think differently about their career. Like, they didn't have to go to New York to break her and Cliff up. They didn't.
Which, her going to New York and seeing Brent Faiyaz was hilarious. Yeah.
Because Brent Faiyaz just ordering a drink. He like, hey, yo, you had any of these drinks on the list? Like, sir.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, there's Brent Faiyaz. Oh my God.
And then Cliff's insecure behind had to. Yeah, yo, Cliff, public enemy number 1 this episode.
Cliff is public enemy number 1, but also like, how are you as a boyfriend? Like, I don't know. I just feel like if you are going to date somebody in a creative career and like, like, because the thing is this, they were dating long enough that he was also there for Shawna's like conscious rap fame viral moment. So like you knew that she had creative aspirations. If you are so insecure, why were you still with her? Because like mans couldn't even go to the event and take pictures. He had an attitude about taking pictures.
Right.
Like that's what you're here for. What else did we invite you for? You can't rap. You can't produce nothing. You a choreographer? I don't think so. So you are there to take pictures. Embrace it.
Also, in terms of more coherent storyline, I understand that like we need to like understand concepts. This way we could like move through plots faster. But I would have at least had one scam that we actually followed that ended up leading to the arrest at the end. Like,
but that goes back to like when I'm saying like save the cat. Like I think because now I'm like thinking about like there's like story engines and franchises, right? And like worlds. Right. There's like worlds and franchise, whatever. Worlds and franchises. Franchises mean story engines. I wish the show had been like a dude with a season-long problem type of story. Like we follow one scam all the way through, and that's like it's like a B or a C story, but it also like influences the A story. Like if you know you've been scamming and you know eventually it's going to run out, and that's why you're trying to really make this move into rap so you can like successfully transition before you went to jail, that would have been a compelling thing to follow. And then at the end, when she does get, you know, chased by the cops and arrested by the IRS and the FBI, whoever that was that pulled up, it would have been like an earned thing versus like, we kind of hear about it. We kind of see it. Maurice goes missing for 24 hours. Also, like, we're all aware that Maurice snitched on her, right? Because Mans was only in jail for 24 hours for scamming. And then he's free.
I didn't even think about that because of how ridiculous Shawna running from the cops was.
Bro, she really tried to run in them heels, but she was like, this was her little feet just to move it. Like, girl, if you want to run from the cops, you need... I think she does fall in the pool.
Ridiculous.
Because also once homegirl was like, Shawna, they looking for you, I would have been out.
Because where Cliff is public enemy number one, Shawna is the hot mess of the
hot mess of the show.
Goodness
Which
gracious.
Is crazy. Like, and that's crazy. Like, think about it. You have Mia, who out here doing fake OnlyFans. She got the sugar daddy thing that went wrong, which like was unfortunate about how that happened. But like the sugar daddy thing, right. The baby daddy drama, and she the most sensible, reliable. Like, I feel honestly, Mia literally was like the ethical bar of the show. Like she was the center of logic, the center of sense, the center of reason, which is crazy because that's not how like the way her character was set up. You wouldn't have thought that would have been the case. And here comes Shawna.
Right. No, Shawna gave like this protected, sheltered life who needed to get out of their own bubble. And if there's one thing I wanted better from the finale, it's a better resolution between Shawna and Mia, because instead it was, look, we got work to do. So we
literally, both of them was making that face. This was them. Girl, I'm mad at you, but we got a show to do, so get it together, bitch.
You saying that also reminded me, all of the dialogue very much felt like healthy people talking, which, don't get me wrong, there's no problem with healthy people talking. Hey, if you're listening and you're trying to choose between healthy and toxic, choose healthy.
Choose healthy every time.
Choose healthy every time.
Every single time.
That being said, that's not what I watch TV for. I don't
and also, like, let's be clear, people don't do that. People don't. Right.
You can't be nonsensical in your decisions, and then when it comes to pivotal moments, okay, I think we should continue. Like, what?
I think we should.
What?
I think also, and I think it's hard, right? Because Mia and Shawna, even though they're the same age, are different women. Like, Mia having a daughter changes the way you have to move through the world.
Right.
In terms of your daughter. But, like, the way you interact with other people, you know, that ain't gotta be, that's not necessarily the case. Like, sometimes you do need to choose violence in some cases. And I think, like, Shawna, if Caleb and I were a rap duo, and we were making City Girl-esque music, and then Caleb came out there and decided to do some free the slaves ass shit, you would never see me and Caleb on stage again. I promise you. I promise you.
You would always wonder what happened
unless we had signed.
Wakanda.
Now, granted, especially because, like, in their case, they're independent. If we had signed a record deal, you might see us back on stage together again to get them 2 albums out. But I'd be like Meg Thee Stallion at like, you know how Meg Thee Stallion have been dropping these albums so she can get off 1501 records? That's what y'all would see from me if Caleb ever did some mess like that to me. So for them to be sitting here going, girl, it's okay. We just gonna do this shit together.
Yeah,
It's like, no.
they had this self-involved image of themselves, and that's why they said, all right, we have to keep going. Like, to be honest, y'all could have rode the coattails and just went your own ways.
Also, like, let's be clear, because that's the other issue. They were so self-important to themselves, but there was no real evidence that they were this important. No. Like, we didn't see them getting stopped in the street. We didn't see Atlantic Records or Sony or Cash Money Records or anybody calling them, beating down their blocks, trying to sign them. So, like, did you have to continue together, separately?
The episode where their song gets played in the club. Listen.
What are you about to say?
Song plays in the club. I don't think you're necessarily gonna get that huge reaction that they got.
But here's the thing. That's the thing about the clubs. Dropping a new song in the club, if you don't get a good reaction, you know the song is whack.
Right.
So the fact that they got a good reaction is like a good indicator. Mm-hmm. But I was laughing because I was like, again, since this was a club in their like local neighborhoods, either the whole club should have known the song or no one should have known the song and they should have just been jamming. But I saw like enough sprinkled people rapping the lyrics where I was like, so is it hot or not? Like, I don't.
No, I mean, I will say, random day, I enter the club, you know, I do my little thing. If I hear Seduce and Scheme, I'm gonna turn up. That is the show's version of, you thought I was feeling you?
That nigga munch, nigga he ate it for lunch. See, what do you notice? The girls go up for the songs.
Every time.
You can't say, like, what? When Cardi said that nigga munch and he gonna eat it like a mango, I said, look at her shouting out the new generation. But also, the bar is crazy. Oh, you haven't listened to Tomorrow 2 yet?
It's also crazy saying that Cardi B's giving a shout out to the next generation. Cardi B's like 26, 27.
She's 30. She's 29, 30. She's grown. Oh, she's been married to Offset for 5 years, bro.
It's been 5 years.
She posted, she made a tweet. She was like, it's been 5 years. It's time for my wedding now. Because they got married. She said they got married. She said they got married at like the courthouse because they got married before she was pregnant, so she wouldn't give birth in wedlock. I was like, that's such an old black thing to say. Very. Her mom was like, y'all gonna get married before that baby get here.
her mom was Patrice P. Valley.
It was giving very much good Catholic auntie.
It was. So.
Yes.
Season 2
of
Issa Rae's new project is official. That is happening. What do you see happening?
Is it?
Yeah. It's from my recollection.
You're right. I forgot. I'm literally
just in from D-Lace. It is in fact confirmed. It is in fact confirmed for the season 2.
This is a No Sleep Till Hollywood exclusive.
Yes, indeed. We're breaking the news, everyone.
We are breaking the news. Issa Rae is on the line. Issa Rae is on the line as we speak. Issa, do you want to talk to the people? Issa, girl, we can't hear you.
Okay, she left. That's cool.
All right, so she's busy, but she let us know. She wanted us to tell y'all. Rap Shit Season 2 coming soon.
Go watch.
But yeah, Season 2. What do we?
Will be happening? What do you theorize?
So I wonder how much they're going to lean into the City Girls storylines. Like, I wonder, because, like, as we know, JT went to jail for scamming. Shout out to when Carisha came to Syracuse and was, like, 8 months pregnant. I wasn't at the concert, but I saw the videos because I was in rehearsal. But she was holding it down for the City Girls, and she was 8 months pregnant. Shout out my girl Carisha. Like, she did what it had to be done. She made sure that there was money to be made and that JT would not come home to nothing. And I appreciate it. I love her. Although she's like JT said, Uzi came to pick her up from jail with a bag of money. Okay. Uzi did not come to play with her. Okay. Right. I don't like Mr. Uzi like that, but I do appreciate the way that he be having my girl set up. But I wonder, I think if Shawna does not go, I want to see Shawna in jail. Shawna doesn't have to be in jail for a long time, but I just want to give me an episode where like it's a time lapse type thing and she's in there for at least 24 hours. Cause that's going to be comedic as hell. Shawna going to be in there.
Oh my God. Not last.
She won't last. Like, she's gonna literally like give herself a whole panic attack, and nobody's gonna have said anything to her.
You know what I just imagined though?
What?
It could really fuel how annoying she's gonna be in season 2 with her conscious rap, talking about I've been in the system. I can see it now.
These bars behind bars. These eyes have seen what they've seen. Ain't nothing.
That's long. Just a number.
Yo, it's gonna be crazy. Just a number in the system. Right. A number on the streams.
I absolutely want to see Shawna rapping in jail. Like, I just feel like because of the show, because of the environment, like, you know, that a connection is gonna get made there somehow, some way.
A lot of ways to make $1 million.
And
through these
you know what?
dreams.
Maybe Shawna finds herself, you know, a little, I'm gonna say, community, you know, and maybe like she could last until she goes into some conscious rap, and like people start feeling like
they're gonna be like, yo, who this bitch?
We can't hang around you no more. Go sit with them.
And the them is gonna be like the people that's talking to themselves, like,
right.
That's gonna be funny. Yeah. Definitely not you the pudding. Oh no. Yeah, but I really would like to see that. I would like to see Shawna in jail. All right, so Shawna and Mia are supposed to be going on tour, but now Shawna might be in jail, so we don't know if they're going on tour. Right. Caleb, if you had to give us a day in the life on the tour, what do you think tour with Raina Rain and Francois Boone is going to be like?
Well, Francois Boone gonna get them with the boom immediately in the morning. You know, I just feel like they'd have like a Kickstarter breakfast or something, and he'd be like,
I'm crying.
You know, that's on me, whatever. And then after he comes in with the boom, they're gonna have to talk, and we're gonna see them get less and less friendly with Raina Rain because, oh my gosh, that video where she was having a stroke, that was a mess. That was hot garbage. That was, oh goodness gracious. Why
Nothing was funnier when that white girl, when the Raina Rain video went viral outside of like the episode, and everybody was like, "Who is this white girl rapping on the Clark Atlanta campus?" And I was sitting there, I was like, "Y'all, this is a promo from the show. Like, this is from the show, y'all. Like, calm down, Black Twitter, please."
No, Black Twitter be having Issa Rae's back, yo.
They do, but they will also cut her up because remember when Insecure season 5 happened, and then they had Amanda Seales wearing the Greek letters, and Black Twitter was in here eating them up for like 2 weeks straight.
2 weeks straight.
It was a rough time to be on Twitter and be Issa Rae or Amanda Seales or Prentice Penny.
Brain cells were being lost in the making.
The college gangs were not having fun. They were not pleased.
But I would be interested to see a song with Shawna, Mia, and Raina Rain. Do you think? I'm just because I feel like it has to happen if they're on tour. And
I mean, it has to.
If it has to happen, it's either going to be a remix to a song, or it's going to be a new song. And either way, it's going to be funny. Like that. It's going to be hilarious. That's regardless. Yeah, whether it's offensive or not is the question. But again, I would love to see.
How many episodes into season 2 do you think it's going to be before Raina Rain says nigger? Like, I just want to.
You know what I think is going to happen? I think it's going to be one of those situations where she's freestyling, and then it slipped, and like, oh, I'm sorry, it just. I'm
outside with my niggas. Like, I mean, my homegirls.
I'm in my girls, my girlies.
I'm in my girls. I didn't mean it offensively. I meant it like homies, niggas.
Do you think Chastity will keep managing Shawna and Mia?
Mia's already made it clear that she's not going nowhere without Chastity. And I think that that's like commendable. But again, like, you can't take everybody with you where you're going. So like, I hope that Mia starts to understand that like what they're building might be bigger than what Chastity can do. Because I don't think Chastity is ready to change her lifestyle. Like, I think that she enjoys being, you know, I'm the Duke of the city and everybody know me. We have a good time and we did it. Like, I think she likes that. That is her own version of being a celebrity. And so I don't think that she's ever going to leave that. I don't necessarily know that Chastity will choose as much as the choice will be made for her. Like, I think Mia and Shawna are going to collectively and separately come to a realization that this is just not going to work anymore. Particularly because I think also, like, is Chastity going to go on tour? Like, you're the manager, but, like, are you going to leave the 305 to go on tour? Because that also might... I think if Chastity does go on tour with them, I think she's only going to do a couple dates before she wants to go home. And I think, like, that's a thing of, like, when a lot of people, like, think about it. Shawna has left Miami because she went to school in Atlanta, then she came home. Most of the rest of the characters we follow that are in Miami have never left Miami. And for a lot of people, like, if you don't leave your hometown until you're in your 20s, it can be such a big, like, culture shock that I don't know that Chastity would even, like, do well being outside of Miami.
No, I hear you, because especially, like, when you're at the top, why would you want to go back 10 steps?
Right.
I understand that completely. One of my last questions for you is, as much as they should have just scratched it from the beginning, do you think we are going to see Cliff in season 2? Do you think we're going to get more on the politician saga?
I don't want to see that man. Like, I gotta talk in my Jatavia voice. I don't want to see that man. Like, he don't be about no money. He don't be about no support. Like, he don't be about nothing. You know what I'm saying?
He don't be about no money.
He don't be about no money. But I do not want to see him come back. I want Shawna to stop focusing on these men. Because Maurice, though cute, also was not about nothing. And I don't think she needed to be with any of the men that we've seen her with so far. Now, Mia, I do love her and Lamont together, but that little fine basketball player, football player, whatever he was, that she met in episode 7, the one who was like, call out of work tomorrow, here's a bag of money. We like him. We like him. We do.
We got to see them seduce and scheme. I don't know.
We got to see them seduce and scheme. Exactly, it's my point. Right now, she's just been outside. I need her to seduce and scheme.
And scheme. Be about what you rap about, what you preach about.
Be about what you rap about. Like, one thing about the city girls, they live the life they rap about. You seen that car P. Diddy just bought Young Miami? They live the life they rap about. Okay. So, Caleb, we come to the end of our episode. That is Rap Shit, show of the summer, ? Show of next summer, maybe. It could be the show of next summer. It could pop off. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are a lot of shows that, like, have gotten, like, season 1 was cool, and then season 2, like, it could be like a different world. You know, season 1 of a different world, we pretend it doesn't exist. But season 2, when Debbie Allen came through, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it could really pop off. Yes, second time be the best. But Caleb, you know, tell the people what you are watching right now. What's going on for you? What are you enjoying?
Well, at the moment, Atlanta is back. That is what I'm enjoying. And Gaelyn, as someone who doesn't watch Atlanta, I will say, I think you would enjoy the pilot of the last season.
Such thing as a pilot of a season. You only have one pilot.
The first episode of the season. I feel like
I was like, wait, it's a whole show?
Whoops. But no, because it was just very funny and outrageous. And like, it's back to the silliness that the show was. Because remember in 2020, that lady in the wheelchair who had gotten a fire extinguisher sprayed on her, and she had a knife in like a Walmart?
Yeah.
That was in the episode. That was all I will say. No.
You know I'm not going to watch that show. You know I'm not going to go watch it. You could tell me everything, whatever you want to say, because I'm not going to go watch it.
I just want to send you episodes. Just episodes.
No, like, no offense to Mr. Glover and his genius. I don't like that show. I am interested in his new show that, like, Malia Obama's a writer on. Yeah, that's been like a story for like 2 years, but it's a show that's like loosely about Beyonce. It's called like Queen Bee or something like that. But it's not about Beyonce. It's about like, it's weird, but I am interested to see what that is. I like that we can become writers instantly.
But that is the show that I am watching at the moment. Please, what show are you watching?
Right now I am watching The Dropout, the mini series on Hulu that was like Emmy nominated this year, but I finally am watching it about Elizabeth Holmes and her bootleg medical device company. This girl, I'm watching it now. This is the ultimate display of white privilege because a bunch of black kids could have never pulled this off. And I am every episode I itch, I get hot, I get angry. But it's like, it's really interesting. It's a good drama. So I'm watching that. And then I just finished All American seasons 3 and 4 with my dad. My father has really become an All American fan. So now I can't watch it without him because it's his jam. But that's been really good. I really loved. Season 4 was not the best season of All American. I think it's kind of starting to like jump the shark and starting to like just not be what it once was. But there was some really good character development, particularly for JJ. If you watch the show, y'all know JJ. But I love what they did with his character in season 4. So that's been nice. And then, of course, my favorite show, America's favorite show, is back. Abbott Elementary season 2 is back.
That's right.
And thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Listen, like the Lord knows that we need reasons to stay alive. And one of the reasons is Abbott Elementary. The show needs to stay on all year because honestly, it's doing the Lord's work. And I was so happy. Caleb, have you seen episode 1 yet?
Yeah, I have. Okay.
So at the end, when the little baby and he had his ramp and they pushed him up the ramp and he was so happy. And then when the little girl, when she was signing with the teacher.
Right. No, like
I'm very excited. So happy.
I'm very excited for the heartwarming.
I was so happy. I was so happy. Like, y'all, I really will cry every time the little boy, because he was so happy with his ramp and then his desk, because he got his little desk too.
No, because Tyler James Williams' character is really going to be like, listen.
I'm really actually like, I'm tearing up a little bit. I'm like, I was so happy to see that. Like the little children having things that they needed so they could learn really just brought me a joy. Shout out teachers, bro. We need to pay our teachers more. We need to protect our teachers from the germs because a lot of the schools now, they done got rid of their masking policies and the vaccination policies, and teachers are really just out here battling a whole lot. And support our teachers, bro. Find a teacher near you and contribute to their Amazon wish list. Literally.
Please. And for more political rants from us, you can find us on social media. You can find me at Caleb Subtitles on anything with an @ symbol. Gaelyn. And you can find me at G Smitty with 2 T's and 4 Y's on anything with an @ symbol. And you can follow the podcast at No Sleep X Prod. Once again, this has been an episode of No Sleep Till Hollywood. Thank y'all so much for listening. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good night. Good evening. And we'll see y'all next time. Thanks, guys. Adios.